My name is Endya Carter. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, born and raised in Gentilly. I was displaced after Hurricane Katrina, but I returned. I was only 8 during Hurricane Katrina. Not being able to have the say to move back when I wanted to is kind of what deemed me to move back when I was of age, because it was already home. And it doesn't matter where you move after, it never really has that home feeling for you, even with your family there. Having to be basically removed from your home at such a young age, and it's all you ever really knew, it stirred up a lot of trauma. So my father was a stubborn man, so he didn't believe in leaving. So we stayed. And because we stayed, we endured everything that the storm had to give. I remember vividly, my mother was cooking in the kitchen. My dad, he was asking us if we wanted to go to the party, because they had a party 2 streets over. They still had a spacewalk up. They had like tents and everything set up, because they wasn't letting the rain like stop the party. Like for me as a child, it was a normal day. And we just was watching TV, but we wasn't watching the news. Like it was not a thing to, all right, well, it got a storm, we need to be looking at the news, seeing what's going on. It was not a thing. We were watching regular TV, like going about all day, like it was a regular day. It was just raining. And we had neighbors barbecuing with like tents up. We had neighbors barbecuing. My friend, she had an umbrella. She was walking her dog. So it was not as big to us as what it became. Because of Katrina, I seen a lot that I didn't need to see. As far as deceased bodies floating in the water, and it's like no one cared, they're just there. We were taken, I think we was on the roof probably like 3 days, until somebody finally came and got us in like this canoe-looking boat and brought us to a dry land, which was at, I want to say, University of New Orleans. That's why I decided to go to the school, because it impacted my life already. They brought us there, but it was just a group, I'm not gonna say a group, a mass of individuals, everyone confused, just standing outside. And then they left. They didn't stay, from my memory, they didn't say too much on what we was to do after. We was just there. So a lot of the fathers and the men, they broke into the school. That's how we were able to have clothes. It had like snacks and food. That's how we was able to survive. I feel like it was a day. I think we slept overnight. And then they came back. I want to say they had 1 or 2 helicopters, but it's so many people, so it's going to be multiple trips, and everybody wants to get to that front to get on a helicopter to go anywhere but where they're at. So during that time, just in that one night that I remember, the parents, I'm not going to say they left, but they got us in classrooms. They got us in classrooms and tried to make sure all the kids was in one area. And it was like a fight or flight type of move for them. And they was just trying to make sure everything was safe. But still during that time, a lot of girls were raped. People committed suicide. People were doing drugs. So it was just a lot to see at 8. And that's me at 8, but there was kids younger than me. Like, as from my younger brothers, they were 4 and 5. So it was just a lot to see at one time, and not knowing what's going on or how to even process it or what it can even lead to after. So that's how I look at that. That's why I say a sense of trauma, because you don't forget it. You might try to suppress your memory, but it's still gonna come up, especially if you end up in that type of situation again. They made it like Houston was a safe haven, but it was no better than being in New Orleans. For me, it was no better. I'd rather have stayed. After a lot of people were picked up in helicopters from the university, we were taken, I want to say, to the interstate. I can't remember which one. They were taking us to the interstate, and they loaded us up on buses. And in our head, we about to go right now. But we sat on a bus for hours, like hours. And it had people with pets, and their pets were dying. We probably got there, I want to say around noon, but the bus, it didn't leave till it was dark. It was dark during the time when they finally had us actually like leave. So we were just sitting on the buses, and you didn't want to get off, even though it was hot. You didn't want to get off because now you're gonna lose your place, because there wasn't many buses. So everybody who got placed there from the university, they didn't have a bus to get on. They were outside, and they were fighting and fussing to get on the bus, even though the bus was unbearable to be on. You just don't want to lose your place or not know when the next one is going to come. And when they did started driving us, they only drove us so far. I feel like we was only on the bus for like 20 minutes. And 20 minutes is supposed to be long to a kid. That's how I know we wasn't on there that long. And we got moved to like a charter bus. In the middle of the road, the bus just stopped. Now I look at it as it bring you so far and then go back. We got placed on the charter bus, and the charter bus brought us to Houston. And you kind of went through a processing, I feel like, when we went into the Astrodome in Houston. And by the time we got there, there were no, it's like netted cots. There were no netted cots to sleep on. So in that whole area, that's basically the stadium floor, were filled with net cots and a lot of people who had already got there earlier. But a lot of them was sick, a lot of sick people. People were dying and everything down there. So my father and my mother, my siblings and I, we just slept in the actual stands. They didn't provide us with anything while I was there. We had stuff from the university that we took with us. So that's how we was able to still have clothes. And they had, it was gift shop stuff. So a lot of the stuff had the school logo and everything on there. But throughout that journey from New Orleans to Houston, we did stop at restaurants. And the restaurants we stopped in, that's where we were able to locate my older brother, because he's my stepbrother, and my older sister. And she actually made her birthday while we were in, because after we found them, we got them. And then we continued to go to Houston. She made her birthday sleeping in the stands. So it was just trying to make things, even though it was so chaotic, we was trying to make things normal. So we sang a happy birthday in the stands to her. I believe she had made 13 or 14 that day. It was just trying to make things normal, but it's like your world is falling apart all around you. A lot of parents got separated from their kids. A lot of husband and wives got separated. So it's just who's ever next to you, that's your family or your friend, you just try to hold on to them and get to safety. Because it was hard. It was hard trying to view that. And I wouldn't want to go through that. I want anyone else to go through that again. It was different coming back, like actually living back in the city, because the first thing I wanted to do was go to my old neighborhood and try to find a house. And it looked exactly how it used to on the outside, but I was told that it was destroyed in the inside. It had never been reconstructed, rebuilt. And it wasn't, I want to say it was a middle class neighborhood, but because it wasn't an upper class neighborhood and it didn't have, like, I want to say wealthy people moving back into that neighborhood, it was looked away. So not many people who I grew up with, or the adults that I was surrounded, moved back to the neighborhood because it was already expensive trying to rebuild everything. And that's how I feel like a lot of people did end up in debt, because you want to go back home, but your home is not, even though it's destroyed, it feel like it's going to cost more to live there than when you lived there before. Just the rebuilding of everything, as well as for my other family members. It was, I won't say it was like a struggle for them trying to move back into their homes. I know we couldn't move back into ours, but it's for my other family members who really wanted to be back there and wasn't looking to go anywhere else. They went through a lot as far as lawsuits and everything, but that also leads to debt, because it's like your city is against you now, but this is the place you want to be. So I know a lot of people ended up homeless, and there are still people who are homeless because of the situation of Katrina. My degree is in criminal justice because I decided I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney, especially for a lot of things that I've seen, and people being placed in jail for some things they didn't do, are individuals who just needed help but didn't have all the resources, or they didn't have the funds to actually get a lawyer. So even if I had to be a court-appointed lawyer first, that was just the overall goal of trying to help others, because I've seen so many in pain during that time. The city is strong and the heart of the city is still there, but the heart of the city is the people, and many people are not who they used to be because of Hurricane Katrina. We have tourists come here every year for many festivals and different type of events, and they look at it. They don't go to those areas that we know. They go to the tourist attraction areas that it look pretty on the outside, but you don't know the pain of it. Like, they don't stay too long out there in certain areas because of stories they heard. They don't stay too long. They enjoy it. They get drunk. They have a party. But people actually from New Orleans don't go in those tourist areas to have fun. They don't go there. They work there. So it's not the same for us. We have to go other states and other cities to try to find an enjoyment. How tourists view our city is not how we view our city. And I would love to just see my city as a tourist, because I feel like I might see it as I did when I was a youth, because I don't see it as the same. Our streets aren't even fixed. There's still abandoned houses. There's still things that remind you of the past that you probably want to get away from, but it's all still there. And I think that's what a lot of people are still attached to. Still waiting for that search and rescue. They're still waiting for that. They're still waiting for someone to just come and say, I have you, like I'm here for you. There's many people in their head, they're probably still living out Katrina every day. What's gonna be different? We've already been through Katrina, and I feel like they know what to do. It's just a matter of, should we do it? Do we wanna do it? Well, what is it gonna cost to do it? And should we just let it be? Well, a lot of people live, but thousands of people died. Thousands. But because some of those people are not related, not kin, are known to the higher ups, they don't matter. There's graves that's still missing family members. So, with that being said, what is a normal day between a person from New Orleans and a person who just visits? It's not the same. For me, I'm not gonna sit around and wait for something to hit again. And I found the peace in moving, and not just keeping my heart and mind in one place. So if I ever have to detach myself from that place, I'm going to be okay.
2005, too many bled, too many didn't survive. Too many misled, too many didn't have a job. Too many fled.